everyone, and welcome to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I am Reverend Jean Bell. My pronouns are she and her, and I am so glad that you are with us today. If you are viewing on Facebook or YouTube Live, please like and share this broadcast so we can continue to spread the good news of science and mind and spirit out into the world. Yes? All right, we have a special drop-in minister today, and that would be Reverend Dr. David Alexander over in the corner. Hey, Reverend David. Reverend David and I had the honor of going to Spirit and Truth Sanctuary for the Celebration of Life service for Pastor Don L. Polk, Bishop D.E. Polk's father and Clarice Polk, Pastor Clarice Polk's husband. So we wished him a very bon farewell, didn't we? Yes. They were in the house, and they brought it down with wonderful music, lifting him up into the next realm of his greater yet to be. All right, so if you're visiting for the first time, please see a welcome team member out in the hallway for a gift, especially for you. All right, we're going to do our affirmation of the month. I'm going to read it all the way through, and then I'm going to invite you to say it with me. New beginnings. As the new year dawns, I know that my life is guided by divine wisdom and intelligence, and I allow Spirit's inspiration to be my guiding star. As I yield to Spirit's guidance, my life is filled with infinite possibilities. I say yes to receiving the unfailing overflow of divine goodness in the form of love, abundance, health, happiness, peace, and joy. I am now open to be a greater expression of Spirit's love and peace. All right, let's say that together in one voice. As the new year dawns, I know that my life is guided by divine wisdom and intelligence, and I allow Spirit's inspiration to be my guiding star. As I yield to Spirit's guidance, my life is filled with infinite possibilities. I say yes to receiving the unfailing overflow of divine goodness in the form of love, abundance, health, happiness, peace, and joy. I am now open to be a greater expression of Spirit's love and peace. And so it is. And so it is. Yes. Yes. We have a beautiful guest speaker today, Reverend Ian Hill, and I will tell you more about him. He is from the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. That is a mouthful. And I will introduce a little bit more about him in a few. But we have some announcements, and the first announcement is my workshop this afternoon on manifestation. Sometimes we wonder why our manifestations are not coming through the way that they should. And so we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about what we can do to make sure that what we intend, like on the White Stone ceremony, whatever intentions that we set, any desires of our heart, we are able to actually see manifest in our life. That sounds good to you? Now I want to see all y'all there. Every last one. And then next week, one of my favorites, I usually try to get there, but when I can't, Tony Jenkins, practitioner Tony Jenkins, he did the intention setting and visioning board workshop yesterday. He runs a wonderful workshop called Spiritually Curious. And this is where we get to explore not just science and mind, new thought things, but also new age things. We get to ask questions. We get to investigate, are these things, in alignment with science and mind? Maybe they're not. Maybe we just like them. I like crystals, What about Mercury retrograde, What do we think about that? Is that science of mind, or is that just new thought? It's just new age, just new age. Anyway, next Sunday, Tony Jenkins will present that workshop for us. And then on January the 25th, we have intention setting through music with our beloved musical director, Penelope Williams, right? She's going to help us take our intentions and our words and make them into either a chant or a song. And she's going to show us just how easy that is to do. And as you can see, each each week, almost every week, we're having a little bit of something that helps us start the new year right, start our new beginnings with solid foundation. All right, I'll see you soon.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I step forward into a new year, a new world of a higher consciousness, as I bond on my spiritual practices, I rest in them. I do them daily, for they lift me up to a higher level of consciousness, where I know without a doubt that God is and I am one in universal mind. This infinite presence just flows through me, as me, allowing me to just let all of it out into the universe. And it always says yes. And I'm so grateful for this knowing that makes me live a better life. Because, you know, as I ask the question, and I listen, and I hear it, I know it is God saying, yes, my son, yes. And when you ask that question, it speaks to you also, because it is deep within your being. God speaks, not the I, but the I am within me that dwells and says, all right, son, all is well in your life and affairs. You are abundant. You are prosperous. You are all of the attributes of me, the spirit within. As the bird leaps off the branch, knowing that it is being held by this infinite presence, I leap and fly also in my world, knowing that I can fly. I can fly to my heart's desires, knowing that God is holding me. Thank you, God. Thank you. Just feel that energy in here. Feel it within your being. God. Rest in it. Just rest in that knowing. Rest in that silence. Be still and know that I am God. I am God, flowing through you this very moment. Thank you, God. As Reverend Ian brings on his message today, we know that that is only God speaking through him. It is not him. It is that spirit that dwells within him that says, I can, I am, I will. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful for all that I have and all that is coming. I'm grateful for this knowing that lifts me, that breathes me. Oh, my God, just takes me on and on and on and on. I remove the veil and I continue to walk in the knowing of my truth, knowing that spirit leads, mind follows, and body belongs. God, I give thanks. I have spoken these words with authority, power, and conviction. And I release them into the universal law. Know that it's done now and forevermore. And I ask you to join me if this is the truth of you being, and simply say, and so it is. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through me.
Thank you so much, Al, Practitioner Al, for that wonderful spiritual mind treatment. Hello again. If you're just joining us again, I'm Reverend Jean Bell. Welcome. All right, so I get to introduce someone who is now a dear friend of mine, Reverend Ian Hill. Reverend Ian Hill is an Air Force veteran, a Unitarian Universalist minister, a social justice advocate, and spoken word artist whose work centers on radical love, embodied spirituality, and justice rooted in joy. They identify as Black, Buddhist, queer, and transgender, and they use they, he pronouns. Ian currently serves as Associate Minister at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where he leads worship, pastoral care, and community-based organizing with a deeply relational and libertarian approach. Their speaking ways, personal narratives, faith in action, and spiritual practice, inviting audiences to meet the urgent work of justice with imagination, courage, and compassion. Before ministry, Reverend Ian served 15 years in the United States Air Force as an in-flight refueling aviator, instructor, and senior non-commissioned officer. They later earned their Master of Divinity from Starr King School of Ministry and completed an accredited clinical pastoral education residency at Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare. Reverend Ian's leadership bridges military service, healthcare, chaplaincy, and public theology, offering grounded insight into resilience, belonging, and collective care. And today he's going to be speaking about new beginnings, the practice of spiritual renewal. Now, his new beginnings talk is a joyful invitation to renewal, awakening, and possibility. And it's all inspired by the reading New Wine and Old Skins. This service celebrates the transformative power of consciousness and the way spiritual practice opens us to fresh life and a new vision. Please, everyone, welcome Reverend Ian Hill.
Man, so I gave Reverend Jean my bio, but it was like, you just take some pieces out, cut some stuff. And then to hear it all said out loud, I was like, oh, who they talking about? Oh, she talking about me. Oh, look. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be before you right now. I'm so grateful for that prayer that blessed this space and blessed my soul and had me feeling like, now what words I need to say after this prayer done been offered. Oh my goodness. Good afternoon and Happy New Year, y'all. Happy New Year. What a joy it is to be with y'all today. I thank you so much for welcoming me and reflecting the same kind of depth and warmth that I hope that you feel from this host place of UUCA. Because yes, I sure hope so, because y'all are so very warm and welcoming to me, and I'm so very, very grateful for it. And I want to also offer a special thank you to Reverend Jean, who extended this beautiful invitation. And yes, shout out to Reverend Jean. And I also want to thank your executive director, Shannon. Shout out to Shannon. Who's been nurturing our congregation's connection since I arrived at UUCA about 6 months ago. Your kindness, it means more to me than you know. And so I'd like to begin our time by sharing this original poem. And I also just want to say, this is a really special opportunity for me because I'll be really shy about sharing my own stuff. Oftentimes, I read other people's poetry and then we reflect on it, or I read the scripture and then we reflect on it, or whatever it is. And so I'm really, really grateful to be in this community that I feel like, I can really be myself and bring my whole self in a different way that I'm just so very grateful. So here we go. New wine, old wineskins. Each day my spirit feels refreshed, remade new in this aging frame. Dust of habits linger lurkingly, leaving filthy residue unchanged. Sunshine streams inside my soul, lighting dusty bits drifting afloat. Specks shimmer like tiny diamonds, sparkling brightly in a poor woman's home. Seduced, tempestuous dirt of past ways comes upon me and grossly stains, now tarnished. I wallow wildly, respectability sullied by shame. New wine, old wineskins, decrepit walls washed with holy water. Each day my spirit needs refreshed, remade new in this aging frame. Dust of old habits linger lurkingly, leaving me with filthy residue unchanged. Salah, each day my spirit is refreshed, renewed, reseated in this aging frame. Dust of old habits linger. I am leaving this residue. I am not the same. Morning, sunshine streaks inside, specks of bits cascade, and with great surprise, dusty diamond shimmer. Day dancing through an entirely cleaned home. This spirit is renewed, allured. Unholy dirt of past ways spits upon me and grossly stains. I swallow. I am not sullied. There is no shame. New wine, old wineskins, holy walls washed with well water. Each day, my spirit is refreshed, renewed and reseated in this aging frame. The dust of old, it lingers, leaving residue changed. Y'all, it is 2026 and I stand before you in This body, 40-something, Black and trans and rooted in an ancestral love of Jesus and grounded in my personal practice of Mahayana Buddhism and held by the embodied wisdom and expansive love of Unitarian Universalism. I stand before you in this new year as someone who knows intimately what it means to be both new wine and old wineskins, to be simultaneously the transformed and the vessel still transforming. I know I'm not alone in this. As we gather in these early days of the new year, we arrive carrying the weight of what came before. We arrive with hopes for new beginnings, even as the world around us feels heavy with violence and wars that continue and communities being torn apart and bodies still not safe and hatred, anger finding voice, and I'm gonna say love still trying to find greater power. We arrive in our own aging frames that have witnessed so much. Even if our young bodies, and I'm shouting out to these young folks in the room, with these young bodies that have still witnessed way too much. And they too might be asking this age-old question, how do we begin again? How do we begin again? How do we hold on to hope without denying the very present reality? How do we renew ourselves when the vessel feels cracked and worn? The poem I just shared speaks to something I believe that each of us knows in our bones, that spiritual renewal is not a destination, but a daily practice. A continuous rebirth that happens within the very same frame that carried us through last year, the year before, and all the years of our becoming. Some of you may have heard of this biblical parable that inspired the poem. It's the one where Jesus said, quote, "No one pours new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the wine will burst the skins, and both the wine and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins." Man, I wish I always had some new wineskins available, but I don't. All I got is this old. But so as I sat with this teaching and these words found themselves on paper, I felt like it would be good to offer this different interpretation. And I thought, what if the teaching isn't about discarding the old, but about the daily work of renewal? What if we are truly the old wineskins, and the new wine keeps pouring in year after year, day after day, and our spiritual work is learning to expand, to stretch, to accommodate the sacred of each day without bursting? I think my poem kind of takes us through a journey of that. It begins with aspiration. Each day my spirit feels refreshed and remade new. And then we confront reality. The dust of habits, they linger lurkingly, leaving this filthy residue, moving through other emotions, including shame, tarnished. Oh, I wallow wildly. I don't know who else has felt that way. Respectability, man, sullied by shame. Finally, it gets at this genuine, I believe, transformation. I swallow. I am not sullied. I am not the same. I'm hoping that y'all noticed how the poem cycles through these states multiple times, how renewal and regression dance together. This is the truth of our spiritual lives, especially when we enter a new year that asks us to hope while the old patterns of old patterns of violence, old patterns of division, those persist. And let's just sit with that dust for a minute, those habits, both of the world and of our own, that dust leaving its residue. In Buddhist practice, we speak of the kleshas, these mental states that cloud our minds and cause suffering. Greed and hatred and delusion, pride and doubt. They accumulate like dust, settling into the corners of our consciousness, seemingly invisible until the morning light streams inside at just the right angle, and that dust gets so visible. And it's not just personal dust, is it? As we begin this new year, we carry in the collective dust from 2025. That was a lot. 2024, 2020, centuries old dust of systemic violence and the wars that grind on, and trans youth denied health care, and black bodies still not safe, and a planet groaning under the weight of consumption, and the dust of our own apathy, of compassion fatigue, of wondering if our efforts towards justice even make any difference at all. I think about my own dust, the defensive patterns learned from navigating a world that always doesn't affirm my existence. I think about the ways I learned to make myself small when I was a little black girl. Or alternatively, to be loud and claim space when I got older and became a black man. All between this, the residue of trauma, of discrimination, of having to fit in the right ways to exist authentically. My poem doesn't ask us to pretend that the dust isn't there. Instead, it asks us to try to see it a little bit more clearly, to watch how the sunshine streams inside our souls, offering a new light to this dust that's drifting afloat. Here's the miraculous thing: when we truly see dust, when we allow light to illuminate it, something shifts. Or at least it can. I wrote that specks shimmer like tiny diamonds sparkling brightly in a poor woman's home. Our imperfections, our struggles, our old patterns, when held in the light of awareness and compassion, I don't always give myself that. I don't know of y'all, when y'all holding it up and looking with awareness, sometimes the tendency is to not give compassion. So to add, you got to give the compassion for it to change into that diamond, for it to be something else entirely, not an obstacle to transcend, but diamonds to treasure, evidence that our humanity is a part of our journey. This is the Buddhist principle of transmutation. We don't eradicate our difficulties, we transform our relationship to them. The dust doesn't disappear, but our understanding of it shifts everything. And in this new year shadowed by ongoing violence, this practice, it can become essential. Can we see the struggles clearly without becoming crushed by them? Can we acknowledge the dust while still believing in our capacity to sparkle? In the middle section of my poem, it gets kind of uncomfortable. I know it did for me, when I'm being honest. Seduced to tempestuous dirt of past ways comes upon me and grossly stains, now tarnished. I wallow wildly, respectability sullied by shame. Can we talk about this? How even when we've committed to growth, we stand at the threshold of a new year with the best of intentions. The old patterns, they still got power though. They seduce us, they're familiar, they're comfortable. And there's a terrible comfort in the familiar. As a transgender person, I know the seduction of hiding sometimes, of making myself more digestible to others' comfort. As a Black person in America, I know the seduction of respectability politics, of trying to be twice as good to receive half the recognition. As a person in recovery from various habits and hurts, I know how the old ways whisper their siren song, especially when the world feels overwhelming and dangerous. And when we watch violence unfold across the globe, when we see cruelty dressed up as policy, there's a seduction to despair itself, to cynicism, to believing that nothing changes, that the new years are just arbitrary markers, that renewal is a pretty lie we tell ourselves. But here's what I love about this poem, about the honest reckoning I had to do with myself. It doesn't spiritually bypass reality. It names the wallowing, the shame, the feeling of being sullied in it, because that's a part of the process too. We can't get to genuine renewal without acknowledging the backsliding, the moments when the new year feels just as heavy as the old one. But then in the poetry, we notice what happens next. It cycles through again and again. Each day, my spirit needs refreshed, remade new in this aging frame, acknowledging this ongoing work is not a one-time achievement. The dust of old habits might linger. We might pause and breathe, but after Selah, after the pause, something shifts fundamentally. The dust of old habits linger, but I'm leaving its residue. I am not the same. Do you feel that difference in you? The dust might still linger, but knowing I am not the same, you are not the same. The external circumstances may not have changed. I don't know what yours are. I know that the violence in the world, it may still rage. The injustice, it still persists. But the internal reality that I meet each day with, that has transformed. Morning sunshine streaking inside with these specks of bits that cascade, and with this great surprise, these dusty diamonds, this new day dancing through, entirely cleaned home, my spirit renewed. The home is not cleaned, not because the dust is gone, but because we've learned to live in right relationship with it. We've learned to let the light inside. We've learned to see the diamond nature in our struggles. And this is what gives me hope as we begin this new year in a world still so wounded. Not that everything will magically change, not that violence will suddenly cease, not that justice will rain down without our continued work, but that we can be renewed even while the work continues. Our spirits can be refreshed even as we carry on the struggle, that we can begin again and again and again and again, and then will come the most powerful transformation. Lord, when this unholy dirt gets spit upon us and it seems like it's gonna grossly stain, we can rise up strong and be like, no, I am not sullied, I am not the same, and there ain't no shame in it. Friends, this is the liberation. This is what the Buddha called freedom from suffering. This is what we in the Unitarian Universalist tradition call the affirmation of inherent worth and dignity, not because we've become perfect, not because we've erased our histories or our struggles, not because the world has stopped attacking us, but because we've fundamentally shifted our understanding of who we are in relationship to it all. We are not defined by the violence done to us or around us. We are not defined by our mistakes, our backsliding, our old patterns. We are not defined by the spirit that we are defined by the spirit that continually renews itself in us, by the consciousness in us that observes and chooses and grows by our commitment to begin again and again each morning. So as I get closer to my closing, it's not much, let me see. Y'all good, okay, we doing good. I'm returning to the title, New Wine, Old Wineskins. So what if the spiritual work isn't about becoming entirely new, but allowing ourselves to be stretched and expanded, renewed from within? This old wineskin, this aging frame, this body shaped by history and experience, this world scarred by centuries of violence, what if it can hold new wine after all? The poem suggests that holy water washes these decrepit walls, but it doesn't replace them, it washes them, it cleanses them, renews them where they stand. And this is the daily work of spiritual practice. Meditation washes the walls of our consciousness so that we can see more clearly. Prayer cleanses our relationship to our past and the world's violence. Community provides the holy water of connection and belonging that helps us remember that we don't transform alone. As a mystic and a minister, as a transgender Black Buddhist trying to live faithfully in this Christian-influenced culture, I am constantly the old wineskin being asked to hold new wine. My body is the old wineskin learning to hold the new wine in authentic gender expression. My racial consciousness is the old wineskin learning to hold new wine of hope while honoring the old wine of ancestral trauma. My activist heart is the old wineskin learning to hold the new wine of sustained commitment, even when change feels impossibly slow. Oh my gosh. And you know what? I'm so grateful that this wineskin stretches and is expanding. Sometimes it might feel like it bursts when another headline announces another tragedy, when another law threatens another community, but it doesn't. Thankfully, it grows and accommodates. It becomes more than what it was. This is what the new year can be, not a fantasy of total transformation, but a commitment to the daily practice of expansion, of allowing ourselves to hold more compassion, more resilience, more capacity for even joy in the midst of sorrow. Beloved community, as we stand together at the beginning of this new year, I want to leave you with this truth. You are not the same. Whatever dust lingers with you from last year, whatever habits cling to your aging frame, whatever shame has tried to mark you, whatever violence the world has witnessed, you are not defined by any of these things. You are defined by your capacity for renewal, by the spirit that refreshes itself each morning, by your willingness to let the light in and see your own struggles as diamonds. I hope that you know yourself to be old wineskin, holding new wine and new wine itself, that you are both the aging frame and the refreshed spirit, that you contain multitudes, contradictions, and the transformation and continuity all at once. May you know yourself as holy water, washing your own walls clean. May you know yourself as morning sunlight, illuminating the dust until it sparkles. May you know yourself as both the vessel and the vintage, both the container and the contained. Each day of this new year, and may you leave behind not the residue itself of change, but your attachment to it, your identification with it, your shame about it. May we be the people who begin again and again and again, even when the world seems determined to remain the same. May we be the ones who pour new wine into old wineskins and discover that they can hold more than we imagined. May we be renewed, not because everything has changed, but because we have chosen to see with new eyes. Welcome to your new beginning again. Amen, Ashe, and so it is.
Now I see, now I understand. Now I understand. Everything must change. Old wine, new wineskin. Now move furniture on the side. Everything's changed. Nothing stays the same. Everyone must change. Nothing stays the same. The young become the old. Mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing goes unchanged. There are not many things in life that you can be sure of. Except rain comes from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds, they do fly. Yeah, winter turns to spring. A wounded heart may heal. Never much too soon. Everything must change. There are, you see, the young become the old. Mysteries do unfold. Oh, and the hummingbirds you fly. They're gonna fly. They're gonna fly. Everything must change.
I don't know about you. I am refreshed. Thank you, Reverend Ian. Thank you so much for being a wonderful light of love. Whew, you could write me a poem anytime. Yes, you can. I'm going to expand my old wineskins tonight, yes. And Wanda and choir, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a blessing to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Thank you for being angels, voices of the divine on high. I may be new thought, y'all. I may be new thought. But deep in my heart, I love me some gospel. Yes. Yes. All right. We're going to do our grateful giving, and I just want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for your love. I want to thank you for everything that you do for the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I want to thank you for everything that you give us. Oh, you give us so much, and I truly hope that we are giving back to you, that we are inspiring you, that we are loving you and caring for you. I want to thank all those who have never stepped into this center and continue to give and support us. Your loving kindness is not unseen. In fact, as I walked through the halls of the hospital yesterday, someone stops me and says, "Are you Joan?" I'm like, "No, I'm not Joan, but I'm Jean." And he's like, "I know you. I know you." I'm like, "I don't know you, but nice to meet you." So Joseph, if you're watching with your wife, hello, right? Because they watch our service online, and they are happy to see that we're going back to the beginnings with new beginnings, our science of mind basics, and everything. So there are people out there that are watching us, and they're recognizing the things that we do. We do a mighty work in the world. We do a mighty work, and your support is why. So there's many ways to give. You saw them already. You could text the tithe. You can go to our website and donate, or you can scan the QR code, and it has been updated. So many, many ways. So join me now. Let's say this with one voice, our grateful giving. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow. And all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Yes.
Expressions of God.
on each other. Thank you.